Welcome to U.S. Immigration TV. In this video, I will discuss developments and the future of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program. If you are under the DACA program, make sure to watch this video until the end, and of course, make sure also to like, share, and subscribe to this channel because I'm always posting videos about immigration news, laws, and developments. Well, the most recent development for the DACA program is that on September 13, 2023, a federal judge once again declared that DACA is unlawful. Well, thankfully, the judge did not order immigration officials to start deporting DACA recipients or terminate their work authorizations or permits. The Biden administration has vowed to appeal this ruling. The main dispute or issue is whether a president is essentially enacting an immigration law through executive action. The DACA saga has been an emotional roller coaster ride for hundreds of thousands of young people who felt a sense of security against being deported under DACA and were able to obtain work permits and, of course, contribute to the U.S. But really, I blame Congress for this problem, and the problem could easily be resolved or solved if Congress would finally work together, the Democrats and the Republicans, and come up with an immigration law rather than relying on the president to push these temporary quick fixes through executive action. In other words, the difference between immigration law and executive action. Basically, the court said, and the dispute is over, that it is the duty and role of Congress to pass immigration laws, not the president through executive action. Now, DACA was introduced in 2012 by then President Obama, and it appeared as an attempt by the president to effectively pass an immigration law through executive action. Now, Congress had been attempting to pass such a law many times in the past, a DACA type law. In 2001, the Development, Relief, and Education for Alien Minors, or DREAM Act, was introduced in Congress. Young applicants hoping to be eligible for this immigration law were known as dreamers. Well, over the past 20 years, at least 11 different versions of the DREAM Act have been introduced in Congress, but none have passed. The Democrats and the Republicans just seem unwilling to compromise or give in for anything. At one point, I remember the Republicans seemed willing to agree to DACA or the DREAM Act as long as the Democrats would agree to some provisions for border security. However, the Democrats were against a wall. I remember when President Trump was first elected. He offered DACA in exchange for a wall to the late Senator Dianne Feinstein, but she replied, DACA only. So there was no compromise. And thus far, Congress has failed to pass any immigration law for the Dreamers. Now, in the court's recent ruling, it noted that Congress's failure to pass legislation did not give the executive branch, meaning the president, the power or authority to legislate on its own. It is the duty of Congress to pass laws, and it's the duty of the executive branch or the president to enforce those laws, not to make the laws. The court noted that the fate of the DACA recipients, or dreamers, needs to be decided by Congress, not by the president or the federal courts. And in 2012, DACA was only supposed to be a temporary quick fix in anticipation of Congress finally passing a DREAM Act. Now, this impasse or stalemate between Democrats and Republicans has been going on for over 20 years. I think, truly, it's cruel and unreasonable for Congress to treat dreamers as some sort of political pawn or bargaining chips. There will be no deal, obviously, unless there's compromise. It's finally time for Congress to get together and compromise and finally pass a DREAM Act, which would then be an immigration law rather than a presidential executive action. And when I start hearing members of Congress complaining about court decisions with the DACA and going back and forth, my question to them is, rather than complaining about the courts issuing injunctions regarding DACA, why aren't you in Congress pushing for a DREAM Act? That would be the solution. So the future of DACA is it's temporarily on hold for those who have already applied, no new applications. And the future, I just think, has to be Congress needs to compromise instead of using you dreamers or DACA recipients as bargaining chips. Just get it done and let these poor young people finally be legalized instead of DACA, which is just deferred action from deportation. It's just, we're not going to deport you yet. It's not legalization. And I think the DACA recipients deserve that. Brought here at a young age, working now, wanting to contribute, wanting to be legal, but Congress just will not pass a DREAM Act. I hope you have found this video informative. I will continue posting more videos on immigration news, laws, and developments, so make sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I'm Michael Gurfinkel, and thank you for watching U.S. Immigration TV.